Hello guys. How are you? It's good to have you here today as well. Okay, so welcome to Educational Drive Show, where we give you self-development podcast and as well in-person interventions and also workshop. Today, I just want to speak about self-reflection and why counseling is important. I have encountered a lot of questions regarding why do we even need to go for therapy? Why is therapy even important? And I'm going to answer this in a moment. You stay tuned as I just sit down. Okay, so I need you all to understand that we all come from somewhere. We are who we are because of where we came from. First, let me refer this to our childhood experiences. So the way we grew up, the environment that we grew up when we were still children, also set a tone to our future developments. What I mean by this is, let's say for example, you grew up in an environment where you were abused, where your caregiver or your parents were not attentive to your needs. And so you were in an environment that was unhealthy. You were neglected, you were just left alone, and because of that, you felt that you are not special or you are not valuable. So that was the first environment that built the person that is inside you. I always speak about the person that is within. There is a person that is within, and this person is made up of different experiences, past memories, and a lot of that. It makes the person that is within. What you go through accumulates inside to build something inside you. And what I mean by this is, let's say for example, that childhood experience that you go through when you're a child. If, for example, you go with that throughout your life, you haven't found yet a healthy environment that has helped you to deal with the things that you faced when you're a child. You continue meeting people that are toxic. You continue being in a relationship that are unhealthy. And what that's continue to build the person that is inside you. And you continue to feel that I am not valuable. You continue to build mistrust. You continue to always be negative. So, what then happens in therapy is we put your life and your world on your table. We try to understand, where do you come from? What have made you the person that you are? Let's say, for example, if you were once in a relationship that was toxic, and I am sure some of you can relate to this. When you move to another relationship, you are afraid to commit yourself to the relationship because you think that whatever that has happened is going to happen as well in this relationship. It's because there's something that has been built and is now in your mindset. It's now in your mind that is still going to happen. So if you experience just triggers around that, you already begin to feel afraid. And you're already skeptical about committing because there's something that has been built inside you. Some of you are afraid to go for opportunities. And this might be something that has happened in your past. Let's say, for example, if you were always criticized when you were a child, everything that you were doing, it was unrecognized. And you were just getting destructive criticism that you don't do well. And then what happens in your future life is when you are now, let's say you have an interview, and then you don't have the confidence because you think, what if they criticize me? it's because it has happened in your past. And because of that, it is accumulated inside you to the extent that it builds fear. And that fear is going to make you lose some of the opportunities that comes in your life. So, as I said earlier, what then happens in therapy is your world is brought in front of you. We show you this is your world map. This is what is happening. These are your triggers. And this is done together with your therapist. So we try to understand what has happened in your past that is affecting you in the present. What are your ways of thinking? What is something that is repressed within you that you still need to process, that you still need to build in, that you still need to heal from? And so, this will now come to self-reflection. Self-reflection is where you tune into yourself. And this helps for self-awareness. Self-awareness is being aware of the person that is inside you. Let's say, for example, you are someone who has anger issues. And when you're self-reflection, you tune in, you try to understand, where does my anger come from? What is triggering me in this moment that is making me feel angry? Same to when you feel afraid to be in a relationship. You need to process, why am I afraid? What has happened in my past that I still need to deal with? Is it because I was once disappointment? Is it because something happened that I still need to deal with, that you still need to process for you to be able to heal and to cope better? Let's say, for example, you also think bad about yourself. You think that, okay, I do not deserve something, or this is not mine. You also need to process, why do I think that I do not deserve this? Have I experienced something related in the past? And so this helps to change your ways of viewing the world. And it also helps you to change the way that you view yourself. If this is not dealt with, you continue to think that you do not have a purpose in this world. Nobody needs you in this world. It will then become a mental health issue. A mental health issue is when you now have depression. And depression comes from the fact that you do not feel that you are worth it, you don't, or something would have happened in the process that is triggered that you are not important and you do not have a reason to live. And a lot of that. There's a lot of factors around depression, and I'm going to test that in more depth in the next podcast. But today, what I want you to understand is that our experiences, what we all go through, if it's not unprocessed, it remains within us. And there's something that will always happen in later life that will trigger that person that is within you, and when that happens, then it will make it difficult for you to cope with the life situations that you're going through because of the ways that you think about it. The way that you think about something determines the way that you're going to deal about it. If you think this thing is hard, it's going to become hard because you first processed inside. What you think about yourself inside is what is going to reflect on the outside. So forget about the person that you are on the outside. Focus on building the person that is within. When the person that is within has healed from past issues, when the person that is within have healed from whatever that they went through, is going to build and change the person that is inside. The person that is inside is the person that we see walking in the world, who is not afraid to go for life opportunities, who is not afraid to stand in front of people, who is bold, who is optimistic about life, who is determined, who knows what they want to achieve in life and go for it. It does not just come. It starts with building the inside person. It starts with healing from breakups, from past childhood experiences, from high school where you were abused, from all those unhealthy. So this is the process of counseling, where the therapist help you to process all these things that are hidden. These things are unconscious. You are not aware of them. It just distracts you, but you don't know where it comes from. And so your therapist will help you to be aware of this. When you are aware of this, you begin to change your ways of thinking. And when you change your ways of thinking, you also change the way that you view the world. This was from me, founder of the Education Drive Show. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comment section. See you guys in the next podcast. Cheers.